What's up, YouTube? Today I'm making a new review video. This is a new purchase from from an airsoft user on a forum. I usually make purchases on Airsoft Canada. It's a forum that's been used for a long time now. I think since the 90s, 80s. Anyways, this gun is the KWA ASG MP9, licensed by B&T. Anyways, let's get to it. So this is the box right here. If you go on the side, it just shows you the different models of them. ASG on the back, same stuff. The box kind of look like it's underwent some yellowing over time because there's some marks. This looks like it's unfaded, but whatever. As you can see, this came from Quebec. Anyways, so let's get to it. So the first thing, the things you should get when you're unboxing this gun is the hop-up adjustment tool, but I didn't get mine on this one. So the first thing you should get is the instruction manual. I'll put this aside for a second. Then you get the magazine and obviously the gun. So I'll take these out first and put the box aside here. So here is the gun itself, but first let's go into the manual. The manual is pretty useless though, there's really nothing in it. It kind of just gives you basic instructions, but I mean, if you have common sense, you should be able to kind of get through the gun without needing this. So here it is. Like I said, this gun is OEM by KWA. I'm pretty lucky to get the ASG variant because that one's a European model, and I live in Canada, so it's nice to have the trademarks on it instead of the shitty KWA trades. So let's take a closer look here. So if you look here, the trademarks, it says Swiss made, 9x19. Other side. The real gun, it's not painted on, but these ones are. This one says MP9R, and then the B&T trademarks. This gun, when I bought it, was basically new. Like, there was not a lot of use and wear, as you can see right here. It basically looks good. And a lot of issues with the KWA guns, KWA design guns, is they have issues with the hop-up unit. The hop-up rubber always swelling up. This one is in pretty good condition. If you can see that, you probably won't be able to. Yeah, the hop unit in there, you can see that. It's in good condition. It's like it hasn't been shot a lot. So let's go through the main features. So obviously you're going to have your magazine release. This I haven't figured out yet. I would assume it's a barrel lock of some sort. This one is the railed model, so this one has a rail on the bottom of it. Has a Picatinny rail on the top. You have your two iron sights, your front post and your rear post. And you have your charging handle right here. You have to squeeze these in to pull them out, or it locks in place. The stock is, you can retract it, or you can put it to the side, so just press that button right there. Stock releases and it just clips into that little slot right there, and you can use that as a foregrip if you want. But the comes with this massive, I would say flash hider in this. This one has a Glock style, kind of like trigger safety, so you have to fully decompress the trigger before it goes all the way back. Has that trigger safety. Your selector switch is right here. Push it in, and that's full auto right there. Push it back out, you'll see there's a dot there. It's your semi. Other side, if you push that in, you get the 3 dots there. This is your takedown button right here. You press that, but first thing is you have to take out the screw that's up here first. Right up there. So I haven't gamed this gun obviously because I got this quite recently, but there's a few things that this gun kind of has issues with. For one, sometimes the bolt won't lock back when you're firing it without a round in the mag. It's a spring issue inside the magazine. Let's take a look at the magazine real quick though. The magazines are really nice. They're really thick and they're really heavy. They feel really nice and they feel decent. They feel like good quality. But the issue is the spring's a little weak, so it can't push the bolt catch up all the time. This mag is really heavy though, which is another issue, so it weighs down your kit quite a bit. But this one, it just has the bolt counters on the sides. It has that KWA style locking feature at the bottom, which I personally don't care about, but it's helpful. What I like about this model is it has metal feed lips on the magazines, so you don't have to worry about these breaking. Yeah, so anyways, I'm not going to take down the gun here because it's kind of a pain in the ass, but you just have to take out the screw, push this up, and as you're taking out the upper receiver, be careful because the spring guide will often fly out at you, and it kind of hurts when you get hit in the face with it, so just be careful. The rails are plastic on the top, but the rails on the side and the bottom are metal. Everything obviously is a cast aluminum, none of it's really CNC'd. The bolt release is steel for some reason. This wears down the bolt quite a bit faster. After you take apart the gun, I've noticed that there's a kind of a gap that opens up here because when this is in there, that screws really tight in there. The pins are all steel, which is kind of expected. The iron sights are plastic, which isn't too big of a deal, but the iron sights are kind of hard to use. They're really small and there's only one aperture, and the front's just a little pin on the front. I don't even think it's adjustable. The gun is quite comfortable to shoulder when you're shouldering the gun. The stock is plastic, but the part that goes into the lower receiver is metal right here. And that also clips in with the stock release button right here is also metal right there. This is all metal, so when it clips in, it's not wearing away the plastic. The bolt is quite big, but it's also it cycles very fast because the recoil spring is very, very stiff. So here's just to give you an idea. If you look at the bolt and how fast it returns very fast. It fires quite fast as well. Can't really get this in shot, but yeah, that's not gonna work. I don't have enough space here. But the bolt cycles very quick when you're shooting it. I'll do a shooting test later in a shooting review. The nozzle kind of has some issues sometimes. When I pull the bolt back, the nozzle doesn't always retract back into its original position, but now it's doing that. Sometimes it kind of gets caught. The internal design is a little more complicated than it really should be compared to some of the TM guns I've seen, but it works nonetheless. The hammer is very sturdy, but apparently there's a part in here that breaks quite often. That is quite common that it breaks. It's easy to get parts of this gun. Another massive downside to this gun is the magazines are really expensive. Sorry about that.